Yeah. Hi folks, good evening, good morning. What are we doing in Los Angeles? Just coming up to 11 a.m. GP, can we lose that audio? And out in the east, quite early in the morning, I think, at 4 a.m. or is it 4 p.m.? Not sure. Anyway, I'll get that right one of these days. Anyway, 4 a.m. There we go. So yes, and of course in New York it's around about 2 p.m. I think. Yes, there we go. Anyway, good evening, folks. Hope you're well, and of course, a big shout out to all our members out there. What a fantastic time we had at Milan Malpensa yesterday. I cannot thank those guys enough. They really were fantastic, really nice to us, and looked after us. And we had a fantastic day there airside with their cargo centre. And basically, we're definitely going back. We've got a lot more to do and a lot more ground to cover with the guys out in Milan. And of course, it just adds another string to our bow in terms of bringing our members the ultimate airside, close-up aviation action. We even had people coming on yesterday saying how amazed they were, new members saying how amazed they were that we're just not just bringing them sort of like airport plane spotting stuff like we do, which is just as amazing, to be perfectly honest with you. But my MO has always been to bring you as much close-up action as I can, and of course we've done that with Munich and of course Frankfurt as well, and we're going to be doing a lot more with all of those guys throughout the winter and off into the summer as well next year. So lots more to come on that. I have to say, incidentally, because Giovanni was saying to me yesterday that London Heathrow was in front of them or above them in terms of cargo freight, the amount that's handled in terms of tonnage. Well, I have to say that may be the case. I'm not sure, but I have to say yesterday at Milan, the sort of stuff that we saw lined up there, Cathay Pacific, the FedEx 777, the beautiful FedEx 777, brand spanking new. I think she's only literally a month or so old. That Qatar 777, another beautiful new aircraft. The Nippon 747, Cathay 747, ABC, Cargo Lux. All those guys were there. We got some spectacular footage airside. We looked inside their cold storage area, and we even were lucky enough to go inside the warehouse and look at these beautiful tigers, which have literally been rescued by this multi-millionaire or billionaire even out in Saudi Arabia, who's created this huge open area, like a massive zoo, for all these wild animals to roam wild, as opposed to being cooped up in a cage. So big props to whoever that guy is out there in Saudi Arabia, and also a big hello to everybody out there in Milan Malpensa who helped us there and gave us that exclusive access to look at that. Of course, we saw the horses going out on that Qatar 777 as well. Some absolutely incredible stuff there from airside. I'll be putting together, well actually today I've managed to compress the entire 3 parts, I think it was, on our channel, right the way down to under 20 minutes for our channel members to see exclusively. So if you haven't seen that yet, guys, just hang fire, and we should have that with you within the next couple of days. And of course, we will premiere that exclusively to our members only long before it goes out to the general public, because obviously not all our members manage to see it, and they're obviously watching it now. They're watching it on playback, as you can do also, incidentally, folks, with our other shows from Frankfurt and Munich. If you're a member and you want to see a specific show and you can't find it, let us know via email, info@bigjet.tv, and we will by all means either put it up on the channel for you or give you access to it directly, and that is only for members, of course. Right, so yeah, a fantastic show, and again, what a fantastic lineup. They do have the AN124 in there quite regularly, and of course, we're now very friendly with the guys at Antonov Airlines, and of course, we will be linking up with them out in Milan to do some heavy equipment moving on their 124. The 225 does come in there literally once in a blue moon, but next time it's out there, rest assured, we're going to be bringing you that live, only our members, of course. Okay, so little bit of aviation news in what's happening at the moment. This one that I actually saw it on LinkedIn. It's from my nephew Sam Heather, Johnny's brother. Great little article that he liked. You might want to check it out. But a company called GECAS, GECAS. They're a company who specialise in freighter conversions. And we've seen the news that apparently, because as you're aware, there's only the 200 LR freighter that's available as a factory delivery from Boeing. But these guys at GECAS are actually now looking to convert the 777-300 ER into a freighter, which is great news, and we can't wait to see the first one of those roll out. That's going to be something to do, something good to see. As well as that, if you remember, a good friend of ours, Neil Schwartz, came out from South Africa the other week. I showed him around Heathrow as much as I could. He did a lot of walking around Heathrow as well. Enjoyed himself immensely, flew out here on the Boeing 747, got a certificate signed and so on and so forth. He did mention to me, because we were talking obviously about South African Airways and their A330, which seems to be in more or less every European airport, all the big ones at least, where they park up their A330, bring it in the morning, park it up on a remote stand, and then it goes out in the evening. Obviously, South African Airways have been in quite a lot of financial difficulty over the last few years. We, of course, wish them well, and hopefully they'll be able to dig themselves out of the hole that they're in. However, a lot of that has to go down to the equipment that they're using. The aircraft, the A346, very aging, very gas-guzzling, of course, with the 4 engines. Great shame for us, because we love the 346. And long may it continue to fly, especially with Iberia. So we'll be out to Madrid to get a lot more of that. But South African Airways, of course, they bought their 330s and their 346s. So now what they've done is they're disposing of those aircraft over time, very soon, I believe. And they have taken on at least 3 A350s on lease from a company called Avalon Aerospace. So you might want to check that out. A little bit of news. It should be coming up in the news quite soon. And we will, of course, hopefully welcome that 350 on its international legs. Hopefully they'll bring it into Heathrow. In terms of the Swiss A220, I know we discussed that last week. They had a few issues with the PW1700G engines, which have that sort of like dry howl when they're spooling up. I think that might be linked to it, just the dry bearings that are inside the engine. But they've all been inspected, and it was a concern for Swiss that the 220s would be on the ground for quite some time, but they turned them around real quick, had the engines inspected. There's nothing significantly wrong with them. Any ones that obviously have had issues, that's being dealt with directly. So all of Swiss's A220 variants back in the sky, which is great to see. I know you guys, we talked about last week the models from ARD. You might want to go to ARD, aviationretaildirect.com, I think it is, or Co.UK, one of the two, but ARD is who you want to check out, and that's where you can get these fantastic models from. I know you're probably watching Paul and all the guys there at ARD. We're going to be obviously doing more stuff with them in the future. It's just getting around to it, folks, because we've just got such a heavy schedule on at the moment. Lots of people wanting us to do stuff with them, and we're just having to literally pack through it as quickly as we can. Upcoming feature shows, as you are aware, we went out to, or I went out to one of the shows last week, did a little bit of networking. We have most definitely on the cards an air salvage show that we're going to be bringing you live, and this is all for our members only, of course. Brake and tyre overhaul show. That's going to be fantastic as well, and very, of course, educational, a bit like the GE show that we did with the GE90 and the 115B from the guys in Wales. We're looking to do an aircraft maintenance show as well. We just need to make sure that all the clients are happy with that, linking that all up. There's quite a lot, obviously, to making these shows, especially the one with Airbus that we're still in the planning stages for at the moment. As everybody needs to understand, you know, those guys are extremely busy as well. And of course, on top of that, we'll have more cargo shows to bring you guys airside with all these different airports. And of course, we're working, hopefully, to do something out there in Boston. And hello to Sam, if you're watching right now. Thank you, Sam, so much, and thanks for your patience as well. I know Sam's doing quite a lot for us in terms of the planning of our show out there in Boston, which is just going to be fantastic. Miami, of course, that's another show lined up. Spoke to quite a lot of people out in Miami. Japan. We're going to be bringing you an international show next month, folks. It's happening. We're just not 100% sure where we're going to be yet. It's going to be, we'll be announcing that the early part of November, of course. So whether that's in the east or out in the west, we're not sure yet. But one thing is guaranteed: we will be doing an international show next month. Schiphol, by the way, and hey Mikey, if you're watching, Schiphol, we do have somebody else who's also lined up to meet us out there as well, and we'd love to see you, Mikey, as well if we can. But we are planning to get out there for the opening of their terrace. I have no idea what they're doing out there, whether they're just modernising it or what. Hopefully they're not putting up great big glass shields like you see on the tops of hotels and so on and so forth, because that would kind of ruin the atmosphere. But we'll soon find out what they're going to be doing, and we're going to be going to Schiphol to film that as well. So, and I know everybody loves the Schiphol shows as well. And of course, as well as that, we can't go to Schiphol without doing the rounds around to the Polder Barn and all the other runways, or whatever is happening at any one particular time. So that's that. I hope you guys are having a good week. Of course, it is only Tuesday. We had that show in Milan yesterday, and hello to everybody out in Milan as well, all the plane spotting crew out there. Sorry we couldn't make it, but obviously the weather was pretty bad. Luckily, we were blessed with some decent weather yesterday as well. Very, very fortunate, and indeed only had a little bit of rain when it was forecast for heavy rain and thunder and lightning as well. So what are we going to be doing tomorrow for the midweek show? Well, we're going to go back to the Paddock. Now, a lot of you guys love the Paddock. Of course, we get a shot straight down the southern runway. They're going to be going on 09s tomorrow, and that means that basically when the operations are on 09, that means they're always going to be coming out on the southern runway, departing out the southern runway all day. They don't have a switchover. They all land on the left-hand runway and depart on the right-hand runway. We do get the odd rogue landing on the right-hand runway from time to time, but no departures out on the top runway, just down to the Cranford Agreement and of course noise regulations and so on and so forth. So we're going to be there around about 11:30 tomorrow morning, taking you right the way through till about 2 p.m. And of course we're going to get all the, we've got numerous 747s coming out. Hopefully we'll catch the Singapore Slinger, along with all the other fantastic departures that we get straight over the top of us, banking out left and right. Some spectacular shots, and of course all the fantastic banter and chat that we have with our members. So we'll be giving you 20 minutes of Freeview like we always do, and then we'll be switching over to our wonderful members. And if you're new to Big Jet TV, thanks for joining and welcome. Okay, Jilly, I think we got something queued up. This is something just to give you a little bit of teaser what we're after tomorrow. Is it Landor or is it Landor going out? It's Landor going out. This is a Boeing 747, one of the 747s that were painted up in the retro series. And this is one of them. This is Landor going out, runway 09 right at London Heathrow. Run VT, GP.
That's good. Here we go. Here we go. There she is, folks. Great primed engines as well. Engine cowls and nacelles right the way up to the front.
So guys, there you go. That's Landor. Somebody just saying on the comments right now that Landor apparently landed in Cardiff. Is it in the last couple of days, or was that today? So she's down in Cardiff. That's a pretty heavy maintenance hangar that they've got down there in Cardiff. So whether that's I don't know, maybe a C check or B check even, but yeah. Rest assured, we're going to get a lot of 747s tomorrow, folks, as well as all your 330s, 777s, Dreamliners, because all the morning rush, all the tiddlers has basically gone out at that time, and we've got the odd one every now and then thrown in, but other than that, it's all going to be heavy stuff going out from London Heathrow. 09, right. We will see you tomorrow around about 11:30. And look out for your notifications. If you don't get a notification, it's not down to us, folks. Please, we are not Google. We are not YouTube. We are not Facebook. If you've got a problem with that, it is Facebook. I'm really sorry, but emailing us saying we didn't get a notification, it just kind of goes up into space. There's nothing we can do about it. And it is very, very random as well. If you don't get a notification one day, you'll get a notification the next day. It just is like that, if you can appreciate that you know, their systems are trying to throw out all these notifications all over the world, and of course, you know, it might get broken halfway down the line and you don't get a notification. So if you don't, we can only apologise on behalf of Google or Facebook, but just make sure that you remember tomorrow around about 11:30 AM, and that's UK time, we will see you live from London Heathrow, right on top of the van at the Paddock. Okay, look after yourselves, have a great evening, and we'll see you later. Cheerio, bye-bye.